but we'll see if BFs can actually come up with something reasonably good. So you'll be switching into the game. First one is going to be on Nomad, it seems. Yeah, and it's a normal Nomad and kinda curious map, I have to say. Yeah, just those two shallows here connecting those two big islands here, and that's really going to be quite interesting how the players are going to approach it and what kind of luck are they going to be having. Mayans are the civilizations for Shmoof, whereas Bratwurst is playing Persians, and we see a bit of a switch here, as Stark is playing Chinese, whereas Thor is the Persian, the same as Bratwurst. So let's have a look at the fish distribution. This is not really ideal, obviously, looking at the minimap. And really, overall, when I have a look at the minimap, I don't really see all that many fish, only at the middle here, and also at the top. So these two are kind of bountiful, but otherwise not really all that much. On the left, on the right, and in here quite a lot of blueness without any kind of dots signifying the ships or other fish. So yeah, it will really depend where players decide to drop their docks. A bit of a scouting with the Willy, one from purple and one from green. So it seems like that Stark and Shmoof will be finding themselves quite close to each other, and it seems like that Stark will be kinda in the power of all his whole island. So yeah, nobody really wanting to be close to him, and it seems like the starting position is not half bad. Looking at the amount of sheep here, very nice tree line, and also those double bars, that's also very nice. With the deer on the left, and he has already also discovered quite a lot of mines on the left, and the gold, the stone, and also the relic here. Extra stone on the right, of course, and otherwise he really seems to be concentrated on this part of the map. ONU Thor is going to be having a dock right next to him, so that's definitely going to be a pretty huge help for their team. And especially for blue, because obviously it's right now going to be covered by his ally Stark. And is he going to drop a TC somewhere here or somewhere here? Okay, in here. On the mainland, so definitely will need some extra help from Stark quite early, as he is dropping in... Oh, well... Quite unfortunate placement, I have to say, because he doesn't have any kind of hunt here. Even just one shorefish. Well, two shorefish, okay. But that's pretty much it. Absolutely no hunt whatsoever. Nowhere close. Yeah, just one boar very, very far away. A lot of mines here, but really without food, you can't really do all that much. But fortunately for him, the same could be said for Bratwurst, who is very close to very close to him. They're basically just a screen away, not even the screen away. And is he... well... yeah, that's going to be just fine. But he's going to be dishing quite a lot of damage. I'm talking about the boar into the villager here. But he does have the loom, so shouldn't be really all that much of a problem. Otherwise, he still doesn't have any kind of hunt, exactly as his opponent blue. So that's going to be quite interesting how this is going to develop. But this dock placement is, yeah, one of the not lucky ones, as obviously there's a lot of nothingness in here, whereas just a few shorefish and one big fish on the top, together with the second one and a third one, but still not really all that much, and this will be running out pretty soon into the game. The last player, sorry, we haven't actually looked at, is right now the purple one, Shmoof, who is positioned kinda okayly, I have to say, because the hunt at the top is not bad, and the double bars at the bottom are also pretty nice, especially looking at the double gold. That's not half bad. That's not half bad, and well, otherwise extra gold on the left, a bit of a sheep here, and he's dropping a house here because he's already built his dock at the very bottom, and that's actually one of the luckier placements. Looking at the right side and also on the left, there's quite a lot of nothingness in there, especially looking at the minimap. So this is exactly the best placement that he could have went for. Poxo, yeah, well, sorry, that's going to be starting like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, but I didn't really notice it before as we have scheduled for a late notice, really late notice, like an hour ago or some such. So I just went for the match that was at hand here. Well, Stark right now is at 12 villages, which is by far the most, whereas Thor is at just 9. So that's a bit of a problem, but it's basically caused by the fact that he has to shorefish here. And that's pretty much it, as he doesn't have any kind of hunt. And I'm kinda curious where is actually the second Willy. Has she already made her way next to her home base? I kinda think so, because I don't really see her anywhere, or I don't really see any kind of buildings anywhere else. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And well, We'll be seeing how well actually can ONU Thor deal with this situation. It is really problematic. He needs all the wood that he can get right now because he will be probably switching into farms pretty soon. So let's see what he can find with the Willy. He's definitely hoping that he can discover some kind of hunt. It's really not going to be easy right now. He knows about the house on the left, or rather that he's very close to his opponent. So yep, that's that. And he will be having to move a bit around to build his house. That shouldn't be all that much of a problem, but pretty good job by Bratwurst trying to wall himself in. Right now at least Thor is trying to wall him in as well, so that he doesn't, or rather cannot, run anywhere else. That's a pretty good idea as well. But, oh well, here we go. He's finally discovered his first boar, and let's see if that's going to be good enough for him. Still just from the shorefish here. And have 12 Willies, which is definitely the least. And it seems like the Chmoof has actually picked up the pace as compared to Stark, who was pretty far ahead, but right now really isn't. Stark is housed at this stage. And he is still not really all that keen to even build a mill for this deer. Fortunately for him, this one so far somehow got here and is running next to the TC. So that's kind of lucky for him. Kinda lucky, and well, he will be right now having to kill her as fast as he can. That she actually doesn't run away in some kind of bad placement. Bit of a wood willies coming around. They are probably going to be finishing with some kind of walling, I would be expecting. Yep, building a palisade wall, so he's probably going to be protecting about here. Which is going to be basically the same line as Blue has chosen as, yep, already you can see building an extra palisade walls next to the house here. Alright, so let's have a look somewhere else. For example, what Stark is doing, he's trying to wall in. Yeah, he has just built a palisade wall, but then realized that he's having extra sheep outside the walls that are going to be coming in, and well, that seems to be pretty much it. He has built his dock on the left side, whereas Blue is having the dock on the right. So they will be kind of covering the waters all together, and looking how Purple is actually not having any kind of dock in the middle, just at the back. It seems like that the water should be reasonably safe in the middle, if they opted to go for it. Which they definitely should, but unfortunately for them, they are absolutely not aware that where all the fish are in the middle. Yeah, they unfortunately don't know, and if they knew, they would be quite happy about it. But also, returning back to replacement of Stark's dock, it seems to be quite fortuitous, because obviously there's quite a huge concentration of fishing spots in here on the left, so definitely something that he will be quite happy about and might be making quite a lot of difference in the game early on. Walls finished here. Kinda curious walling by Thor. All those random walling here. But at any rate, looking at the Willies, he's having 19, which is even one more than Bratwurst, so he has actually overcome the problem that he had at the very start, basically thanks to all those fishing boats, so yeah, that's definitely an advantage for him. And it's kind of curious, because he's having 9, whereas Bratwurst is having 12, so I'm really not sure how is it possible that Bratwurst isn't having an upper hand, looking how he's having better hunt and a bit more sheep than his opponent, at least at the very crucial start. Bit of a wall-in from Thor, trying to prevent his opponent from coming somewhere forward. And he's also having a second dog here, Thor. That's quite curious, as he will be hoping that together with Thor, or rather with Stark, they will be able to control the top of the map before the reinforcements from a Purple player alive. Because obviously that's going to be, well, both two sides of the map to get here. This is definitely going to be quite a long time, and will be a bit of an opportunity for Stark together with Thor to kill Bratwurst before Schmoof comes to help. Stark is of course, as expected, the first one to advance into Feudal Age, building yet another dock here on the left, trying to gather as many fishing spots as he can, but looking out, for example, Purple, who is the second one first from VF advancing into Feudal Age, he is already gathering into the cold, and the placement seems to be overall very nice. Bit of idlers here, just waiting for the sheep to be targeted, but otherwise, well, he seems to be thinking about defending himself, so it almost seems like each for his own from the Black Forest team, and let's see how well this is going to go. I would be expecting that maybe the purple player, Schmoof, will be helping Bratwurst pretty soon, because they know about Thor being right here, and potentially this is going to be quite easy raiding for them, obviously, 2 versus 1. looking how Stark is on his mainland and basically not caring about anything that is happening somewhere else. As he's advanced, he's already building stable. That means switching into Scout Cavalry. And a bit of a raiding from him, I would be expecting. Not enough units yet, but I really think that's just a question of time. And fortunately for Blue, he has found yet another hunt and also a bit of berries, so he should be quite fine with the food in the next minutes. Gathering gold in the very bountiful top side, where there are quite nice stone mines, and especially those 3 gold mines, which are pretty nice indeed. And quite a lot of fishing boats. You have 15 for Brothers, who is just now advancing into Feudal Age, whereas 12 for Thor, 11 for Stark, and just 8 for Shmoof. It's kind of interesting, even though Shmoof is having the most villies together with Stark, and they are really on par. The difference is literally just those 3 fishing boats, and I'm kind of thinking it might be just piling up, especially with the dock right now placed in the middle. That's very nicely played by Stark, and he will be having all the rain of all the middle of the map, and that's quite a lot of fishing spots, so that's going to be a huge boost to his eco, especially looking how he's building yet another dock in the middle. So has he already built some scout cavalry or whatever? Oh, he's just waiting for a castle, so that's going to be basically just knights in the castle when he advances. The same as Shmoof, but he is Mayan, so obviously that's going to be something a bit different from him. Potentially castles, but is he gathering stone somewhere? A lot of gold mines on the right as well. Stone is here. He's not here either. Yeah, neither of the stone mines have been gathered from him. He has 4, or rather 1, 2, oh, 3. Sorry, 3. 3 mines, quite big ones. But he seems to be concentrating on something else, but I'm not exactly sure what so far. A bit of a towers here from both of these players trying to annoy each other. And it seems like so far that actually Blue, or rather Red, is having slightly better luck with annoying the tree line of his opponent, but at the same time I don't think that's going to be anything crucial. And with this tower very nicely covering the gold, this is going to be quite problematic for Red, as he doesn't have any kind of gold mine whatsoever. He's having just those double stones. Right now towers shooting at each other, and it seems like this tower is having somebody inside. It seems like just one. Bratwurst. Oh, there's actually 5 villagers not doing anything, just supplying extra damage into the tower, which is... well, it might have been a good idea if he was somehow significantly ahead of his opponent, but so far he isn't. And it basically means that he's fighting right now with 20 economy, 20 villager economy against 28, and that's definitely going to backfire on you pretty soon here. Another tower being built because Blue is going for it as well. Very nicely placed outpost, because he definitely needed to know what is happening here, and yeah, both of them changing their minds, and it seems like that they might be abandoning their attempts early on. Very nice wall in here by Shmoof, and also a dock, so that's very important for the next game, because obviously this will mean that Stark won't be having an easy time defending here, and he will be forced to actually build some kind of boats to defend. So far he is having just a bit of a raid in here with the transport ship. So let's see where he actually lands. Let's have a look at Stark and his point of view. He's transporting 1 villager and 1 knight. That was a bit of a scout in here from the fishing boat. Fireship from Stark, and is he going to drop right in the middle here? Oh, he's going to drop a bit too close, or it might not be too close. Let's see, because he doesn't have any kind of army purple right now. He has opted for actually full-on boom. He's going for 3 town centers without any kind of economy, or rather, without any kind of army. So let's see what the 1 villager will be able to build. I would be expecting maybe a tower. He does have enough resources for that, but he's also maybe saving for something else, like maybe a TC right on top of his opponent. Not exactly sure, but there's a bit of a water battle with Stark winning against Shmoof, as he was probably having the first shot here, and also maybe slightly bigger numbers. Looking at the middle, how's it looking between Blue and Red? Red, or rather Blue, is right now dropping a second TC, or maybe a third one already. Let's have a look somewhere. Now, two TCs. Stark is trying to build a TC here, but also Bratwurst is here without any kind of knowledge of his opponent. Well, that's kind of a shame, because if ONU Thor was aware of what is happening here, that definitely could have prevented Bratwurst from doing anything. But right now, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem, and it seems like that Stark will be facing yet a bigger problem here because of this monk. But can actually Bratwurst, or rather Schmoof, find the villager fast enough and convert him? So far it doesn't seem so, it doesn't seem like he is actually all that well aware, but the siege workshop is going to be quite difficult, and I could very easily imagine, yeah, outposts being built so that he has a proper line of sight, and he will be expecting quite a lot of mangonels right here, so that's a pretty nice sneak, although I'm not exactly sure how Schmoof did miss this. Oh yeah, he definitely could have missed it. He definitely could have missed it because this was exactly outside the line of sight of this house, so very nicely played. But unfortunately, he gave himself up by this outpost. But still, it doesn't mean that Schmoof would be aware of the siege workshop being here and some extra siege in. Right now he will be, with extra army coming from Stark, which is 2 knights. And well, goodbye. Goodbye, and unfortunately for you, you need to be also careful about this TC fire. Come on, Stark. Second villager dead. Second villager dead, and villager also converted, so that's a pretty great play. Right now from Schmoof, it was much more valuable to actually build, or rather convert the villager, rather than the knight so far. And well, the siege are coming in, and that's going to be quite interesting, how Schmoof will be able to defend. So is he building some kind of military buildings? No, he isn't, so he's still just now counting on the monastery here and the monks, and right now this is the castle. And can he actually finish? It's going to be a bit hard for him. As obviously, if he cannot, that's going to be basically game over, but he very easily could. And I'm going to have a quick look at the top, where you can see that Bratwurst is doing all he can to actually disrupt his opponent. Right now, demolition ship from Stark, and can he lure his opponent to some good spot? Yeah, well, wasn't really good enough, but it did deal quite a decent amount of damage. So let's go back at the bottom. How's it looking with the castle? Well, mangonels still prevented the castle from coming up, at least for the moment. But not really any kind of extra siege right now. Mangonel are being built, but the converted knight did kill the mangonel, which is a bit unfortunate for Stark, as obviously he needs some extra villagers here, and also some extra buildings and extra units with the army. On the middle, yeah, Stark has built the TC, as has Bratwurst, a bit of extra TC fire with support of the tower fire is doing a pretty good job, killing one of, or rather 2 villages it seems, from Stark, and well, they now are forced to retreat somewhere else, because obviously this gold is not safe anymore. Extra tower being built by Thor, as he's trying to counter what the red player is doing, and he's also trying to break into his walls, into his base with the mangonel here, and it seems like that nobody is really interested in some kind of army, and they are hoping that they can get rid of all of them with just a few siege weapons here. Villager waiting to repair. By tower. Yet another mangonel, and can he get a good shot at this mangonel? Who's going to be the winner of this little battle? I'm guessing red. Yeah, good shot. Good shot indeed. Shot indeed, whereas at the top you can see that Bratwurst is still continuing with the raiding with the fire ships. Right now trying to destroy the economy of their opponents, and well, in the middle at least, it is really looking like Stark has been able to basically control the middle of the map. So far doing a pretty good job, but it's also because Schmoof is not really all that much interested in that, as he's right now having just one fire ship waiting here, but well, once actually those threats are coming around and will be in the middle, this is going to be a pretty significant disruption of the economy on the water for Stark. So far though, he's leading at least on score, and he seems to be losing the building here pretty soon, as I don't really expect it to be standing much longer, especially with the monk conquering, or rather converting the second knight, and with the very nicely placed defensible castle, this is going to be quite easy booming for Schmoof. Nothing interesting. Oh yeah, a bit of a raiding on the water here from fire ships from blue, from Thor trying to destroy Bratwurst's economy, which is also a pretty decent idea, and this is going to be quite a hard time for him to get any kind of resources. Looking at the stats, we have Bratwurst just 47 villagers, with Schmoof having 74, which is the most, so most and less, and least, with Stark having 66 and Thor 59. Okay, so it seems like more or less equal, looking at the overall axis with all 4 players, so pretty much equal, but oh well. Definitely need to be a bit more careful here, as obviously 1 versus 3 is not going to go all that well for you. So good job on the water. Here on the land, not much happening, just a bit of veteran rams, but basically waiting to be unleashed upon this TC together with the tower. But somewhere else, not much happening, just arguing one Mangonel hidden here with the knight, and that's pretty much it so far. But very nicely developing blue so far, I have to say, as he's having quite a lot of TCs right now. 3 TCs at least, maybe even 4 somewhere. So far not, so far 3 TCs, but that's pretty much all he needs as the Prussian player, and 1v1 for those 2 Mangonels, and well, definitely could use some extras here, Thor, because if he could kill all those stone miners, which right now seem to be slightly moving somewhere, so let's switch it to Bratwurst. Still not good enough. I was maybe thinking that he was going for a castle, but no, he was just gathering enough to build a watchtower and basically protect himself and this mine, so that he can gather safely from now on. Maybe right now interested in actually switching the battle from his own base into his opponent's base, so let's see if blue can actually get a pretty good shot in there. 9 range and 7 range obviously. Going to be hard to take down. Here's the shot. And he's going to be the second one to get rid of you fully. Yep, here it is. Looking at the top here, where we see the full deployment of the siege weapons from Stark, and also a bit of a help from Knights. Well, a bit of a help. Actually quite a lot of it, and this is really not the kind of army that Bratwurst will be able to overcome, because obviously he doesn't have anything, if I remember correctly. He doesn't have even any kind of military buildings, and well, it a bit of a bucked Mangonel. Having a bit of a dance here. But that's pretty much it, and especially on the top, where red player will be needing quite a lot of help very soon, because otherwise he's going to be quite easily slaughtered just by Stark without any kind of help from Thor. At the bottom though, we see that Purple is actually fully developing as he's in Imperial Age, and he is right now having a pretty decent amount of barracks, right now dropping into spam of Eagle Warriors, which is a pretty decent idea. If it wasn't for this castle and all those paladins, or not paladins, just knights yet, paladins in the Imperial Age later, being prepared to actually take care of them. But it's also going to be quite easy for Purple to switch to Halberdiers, as I don't really expect those knights to be all that strong here. So this is basically going to be a race for time if Stark can delete red before Purple can delete blue, but I don't really think that blue is having any kind of serious problems. I think he can last long enough for Stark to win the battle. And on the water, is there something interesting? Just still red, trying to roam around and trying to find something to kill, but not really having any kind of reasonable luck. And this is a pretty good spam of the buildings, trying to prevent those knights from coming through into the red's base. So far quite successfully, even though they might kill those 2 villages, so not really all that much of a problem. But, oh well, are they actually getting through here? I'm not exactly sure what is happening here, but definitely needs a bit of siege here, Stark, so I'm not exactly sure why he isn't sending the ATs here. And oh well, Red definitely has to be careful, because this one villager is definitely a traitor, as he's cutting through the tree line, and he will allow all those knights to trickle inside the base, and that's going to be quite a lot of problems, because without any kind of economy on the water, yep, being without land economy is probably going to be meaning a pretty good GG for you. At the bottom, still the one knight trying to get rid of the siege workshop, but that's pretty much it. And well, the Eagle Warriors are still being spammed, not being switched into Halberdiers, but we are slowly getting there, as Pikemen and Eldorado are being researched, and that means quite a lot of strength into infantry from the Mayan player. Also, Trebuchet here, getting rid of the castle without any kind of opposition. When it's defended here, but still with this few units here, I kind of think a bit of a sort of suicide unit could be going in from Thor, and that could be just enough to get rid of this Star Trebuchet. And well, it's not even going to be Thor, it's going to be Stark, exactly with the same kind of idea. Yeah, he won't really mind, because he's going to kill the Trebuchet very fast, and right now he's just going to run away, or maybe just take a fight here. Well, he definitely shouldn't right now, he should be running, as the numbers are really seriously mounting up against him, and he's just going to lose absolutely everything here. Oh well, that's a lot of shame, but at least he's attacking from the top and slowly but surely moving in. Yeah, you can see that the tree line is right now being disrupted. And now it's free. Now it's free. So that could be potentially easy way through for green, especially with the outpost right now being built, so he knows exactly where he can go through. And well, especially with the blue wall here also, he can very easily raid a rat on the houses, which will house him quite easily. And well, let's see how this is going to develop, because this is definitely aiming for a pretty tough moments for Bratwurst right now, who is trying to develop into the left, which is definitely a good idea for him, buying some extra time for Schmoof to switch the game around. But well, I'm really thinking that red will be out of the game more or less fully. I don't really expect him to be making any kind of significant contribution, especially looking at this at the economies, with Stark having 121, with Schmoof having 97, Bratwurst is 62, Thor 73. Well, that's pretty nice indeed, and definitely tells you that Stark is going to be the one to decide the game if he can. Still a lot of building spam, and it seems like that the castle will be coming down pretty soon, because right now Purple has opted for a full-on attack with Eagle Warriors onto it, which is not going to be any kind of problem, and especially when he's dropping a castle on his opponent, yeah, this is definitely a moment where he should be very careful. You can also see that Red is moving with a TC to cover the gold even before the TC is down, so they are definitely thinking that this is a done deal, and there's not going to be any kind of other course of action. And it will be most definitely up to green and Stark to do something substantial with his cavaliers, and potentially something extra like Chukonus or whatnot. Well, that could be an idea for him very soon, as he already has a castle. But not really interested in that, it seems, as he's having quite a lot of stables. And is he building what? Only trebuchets for the castle? No, conscription so far, so it's going to be trebuchet pretty soon, I would say, as he needs to get rid of this TC, which would basically kill the economy from his opponent altogether. Right now trying to find his way through, which is going to be very easy, because this Mangonel is exactly at the right spot for green, I have to say, not really for red. And oh yeah, here we go with raiding on the economy of red. Good luck handling this, and right now he's, oh yeah, this is just an exodus for red, because he has already established a second army, or rather second base on the left with double TCs, and is moving in with absolutely everything, trying to prevent what's happening here. Green is potentially going to be facing quite a lot of infantry, kind of combination of Eagle Warriors and Halberdiers, which is quite deadly for those Cavaliers. Still not coming with some extra upgrades or some kind of switch into Chukonus. I would be guessing so, because rocketry, chemistry, ballistics is basically telling me, or rather telling me, that he wants to have some good ranged weapons. And oh well, this is very nicely caught by purple. Very nicely caught by purple, and quite a lot of damage dealt into those cavaliers. And yeah, their numbers are not really all that great at this stage. So how's it looking for blue? He seems to be reasonably well defended on the left side. So he's still having quite a lot of TCs, very strong economy at 76, much stronger than Bratwurst. And I would be very keen to see him switching into Imperial Age, and potentially himself into some kind of Cavaliers and Paladins later on, as he's a Persian, obviously. Chukonus definitely coming in, Elite Chukonus, Bombard Towers as well, Botkin Arrow, all the nice upgrades here. And yep, this is just inevitable, coming through right now. Those two castles and Chukonus already trickling in, so that seems like a pretty much a full switch I would be expecting from Cavaliers into the Chukonus here. But before he does that, he actually needs to get Thor back into the game, because without that he would be in a bit of a problem against all those Eagle Warriors. How's it looking here? A bit of a raiding, or some kind of stray Cavaliers from the green player, who are right now finding a bit of a gold here, and that's actually quite a lot of gold mines. They are quite threatened from the water, and this could be very easy raiding for green player if he actually notices this. And it almost seems to me like he might be. It almost really seems to me that he did notice, and he's sending a few boats here. So that will be quite problematic for the purple player, as he's going to be losing quite a lot of gathering time on the gold here. At the top, though, it seems like that purple is doing a pretty good job advancing forward with his siege trebuchets, some kept rams, and also a bit of an infantry here. And he is defending his red teammate quite well so far, having a pretty decent army, but I'm not really sure it's going to hold for much longer, as obviously those Chukonus with proper meat shield are going to be quite deadly very soon. Right now, just a question of time before these walls are breached. It's going to be just a bit of hits here, and where is actually the boat for green? Okay, so it isn't. It seems like just patrolling some kind of weird place. And oh well, yet another attempt by Stark, trying to basically decide the game as fast as he can, as he's right now trying to go through this wall, which will be also quite problematic for Schmoof, as it will be right at his backside, and definitely not easy for him to defend at all, as he doesn't have any kind of military buildings here, and he'll have to pull everything from the attack into the defense. Strong army here. Is he being killed through the trebuchets, but it's not really all that much problem right now, because Blue is doing all he can to build as many walls as he can as well, so that he really gives Stark as much time as possible to delete his opponents. Masonry, what's interesting here? Imperial Age from Thor. That's exactly very important, because if he can switch into Paladins and can basically free hands for Stark, who wouldn't have to worry about those Cavaliers anymore and just build full-on Chukonus, that would definitely expedite the end of his opponents. Oh well, this is a pretty big battle, especially with the bombard towers right now coming in, and they basically are forced, or rather a very good means of making sure that red is not going here, or not going back here anytime soon, and it also means that it's building some kind of buffer for the blue player, where he doesn't need to worry about the attack from the left side, and basically has to just build a lot of walls at the bottom, which he definitely is, as you can see, and well, doesn't want any kind of surprises from that part of the map. So it seems like a pretty strong attack from Stark at this stage. On the left he's already through the walls, but oh, transport ship from the Mayan player. Oof. I didn't see any kind of flag in there, so there's nothing. But he might be moving with something in. Potentially with, yeah, there's already a transport ship. Potentially transport of some trebuchets or some kind of army onto the mainland of Stark. That would be a pretty decent idea. Not half bad, but looking how Thor has actually built a very clever castle here. That's going to be quite hard for him to do anything about. Thor is also having transport ships and trying to move something. So far it seems like villages, and he will be potentially castle dropping. Well, no, he won't be, so they just go. Sorry, that's just going to be potentially, I don't know, a siege workshop probably. And stables. Oh yeah, we are switching into the Cavaliers and Paladins very soon. That is also advancing into the Imperial Age right now. But that might be just a bit too late, because his farmer base has been basically captured by Stark at this stage. But he's still having quite a decent amount of economy on the left, and, well, at the same time though, Stark is getting terribly close, and he will be needing all the help from Schmoof as possible. Is there actually going to be, or rather happening, some kind of sling? Well, not much, but some is. From Schmoofy to Bratwurst. That's not really much of a sling, they're just trying to put him back on his feet. And, well, we are through, and the town centers are right now going to be killed just one by one. A lot of infantry, obviously, for purple. And extra hill advantage, potentially, for the green Chukonus. Interesting shots here from the Mangonel. And it really seems like those Chukonus are pretty beastly at this stage, but he could definitely use a bit more extra Mangonels or even Onages, as they would be quite helpful against all this onslaught of all those infantry guys. But with all these bombard towers, he might be just fine, having all those Chukonus on some kind of choke point, exactly as he is. You can see that the infantry literally cannot get there. They are blocked by the stone and by the wall, so there's literally just one square of getting through, and that's absolutely glorious for the Stark here, as there's absolutely no way that they can get through. Green is also getting through into the purple space, and we see the first GGs being called, and they might be really right now final, as there's a bit of a bombard tower coming in from Stark, and a pretty good job on that. It really seems like that's not going to be anything that BS will be able to do about that. Yeah, the landing basically telling you everything that you need to know, getting at the home base of purple, and that would mean that purple will have to decide, or rather switch from the attack on the blue's base, yeah, just onto the defense, and that wouldn't be something that Stark would be all that unhappy about. Very nice defense with the wall in here from Thor. basically all he needed to buy all the time in the world for Stark to win. Alright then, so let's have a look at the achievements. Let's have a look there. With Stark definitely winning, where he was having a pretty good amount of villages at the very start above his opponent, and that seems like basically the reason why players win on this kind of map. Unit skilled, very nice for Stark. And overall he has won absolutely everything. Just gold ran away from him, but otherwise that's pretty huge difference above everybody. Okay then, GG.